Hello Gemini, welcome to your June 2023 reading. There's going to just be romance and drama and glamour and luxury. Mars and Venus are together in the sign of Leo, which makes a very harmonious and opportune aspect to any of your Gemini placements. So we've got Mercury moving into the trickster sign of Gemini, where it's going to have a lot of fun and enjoyment and lightheartedness. Well, that's the astrology anyway. Let's pull a card from this archetype deck. Then we're going to move on and look at the tarot card spread together and see what's coming through. So like I said, astrology seems fun and playful and romantic and easy this month for you. The cards may say something else, but let's focus on an archetype now for your sign, Gemini, just to set the stage for the fun drama that's going to unfold. This archetype is going to speak to what Gemini has been stepping into and will continue to embark upon during the month of June. Have the forest. Okay, let's find out what's going on in the forest. Looks very enchanting. That's what I'm gonna say here. So the woods, the thicket, the jungle. Consider for a moment your earliest memory of a forest. It's likely that it included all the mythic dynamics of this archetypal space, a little fear, a little enchantment, perhaps losing your way, perhaps discovering a secret mystical treasure. Such is the magic of the forest. It requires first that you enter it, and then that you get lost within it. You may think there is a path to lead you straight through, but soon enough you'll be on what is known as the pathless path. There are tricksters. I knew we'd be hearing the word trickster this month. There are tricksters here, dense foliage and entanglement. Ooh la la. But equally present are the glimmers of fairy light and friends among the trees. You're on an adventure now. I knew it. You're on an adventure now, and there's no turning back, so embrace the dim light and the moving shadows, whether literal or imaginal. Brave the forest and get lost getting found. So when this energy is in its lightest form this month, you're going to be experiencing magic, childlike wonder, and a lot of adventure. In the shadow, though, you could feel elements of density or even concealment, savagery of the forest too. It goes on to say, I love these little side notes. What does it say here? If you get out of the forest without feeling lost, you were only in a little grove of trees. The great archetypal forest requires we spend at least one night frightened for our life. Let's get into this reading, Gemini. The Nine of Wands. The Ten of Pentacles, big card for abundance. The Eight of Swords. We've got your energy with mutable earth and the Knight of Swords coming charging into this reading. The World card in the recent past, our first major arcana, which speaks to a massive cycle of accomplishment. The Devil card. We have the Ace of Wands. Always love to see an ace which herald new opportunities this month. The Tower. I did mention drama. The Strength card, even more major arcana card. Wow, this is a powerful reading for you. And finally, one more Temperance card, major arcana energy. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 massive soul growth periods of lessons, blessings, discovery, karma, and rewards coming through this month. Let's flesh this out just a small bit more. I'll pull another few cards and then I'm gonna come back on camera to talk you through this reading. We have Spica. This is a very, very fortunate fixed star in astrology, so I'm excited to get into that with you. I also just wanted to talk about the forest again quickly. I mean, you are going to be meeting all types of people this month in your journey through the forest. This is going to be people friends, tricksters. It's a lot about discovery and adventure for you this month. Finally, let's just pull 3 cards from my archetype bundle. See what else we're working with, and then get right into this reading. So many cards to just delve into. We have Mother, Disease. Don't worry about that. There's always a deeper meaning behind these cards. And South America. Very interesting. I'm so excited to get into your reading. Let's do it. Let's start with the World card in your recent past. It is the last major arcana in the deck. This speaks to your homecoming, a full circle moment that has recently happened for you. In the first card, the Fool is about to jump right off the edge of this cliff, a new start into the unknown. But you now, Gemini, are not that fool anymore. You're a seasoned professional. You are coming back to yourself and considering all the achievements you've made recently. And you couldn't be happier. This person has their arms spread in gratitude, in joy, in connection. And I see this infinity loop above your head here, just being so connected to something that's been spurring you on towards the successes that you've been having recently. So this does speak to endings, but successful ones. Think graduation, think marriage, think pregnancy, think personal goals being achieved, think breaking of cycles that were disempowering and addictive and traumatic, and feeling happy, feeling alive. These are all the kind of personal victories and even professional victories and goals that come through when we see the World card. So that recently has been where you've been at. This isn't so much a reading about new beginnings as it is about, finishing off projects and culmination and success and really nearly being there. You've been there already with something big lately. You've achieved something great, and this has been perfect for you. I feel like you've been experiencing full circle moments. This can feel like bumping into people and running into people recently, which have just kind of confirmed that you've been on this journey of growth recently, and now these people are coming back into your life and just kind of here to show you how much you've grown, and I overall see them as being very supportive. The cards that I pulled, Mother, South America, and Disease, to me these are really speaking to a past life signature in this reading, which we're going to get into. But Spica is a very fortunate fixed star. She is in the constellation of Virgo, but sitting at 24 degrees of Libra. So Virgo and Libra are going to be representing the harvest and justice. So the recent successes could have been a massive harvest. You've just really accumulated a great deal of wealth or experience or knowledge or something that you're very proud of yourself because of. But it also could have suggested a recent breakthrough in terms of a lawsuit or a case or anything legal that you've been working on. This is a good omen for even kind of cases that are yet to come or anything that's ongoing in terms of the law. This very much is a nice signifier for that going well. And justice just being done, and it's all working out for those involved. The Spica card also speaks to trauma of the emotional nature. This is where I see the Mother card coming through. I feel like at this time in your life, Gemini, you're brave enough and willing to look at the kind of trauma that has been passed on from generation to generation, even from past life to current life. There is a lot to be said about what happens when we're in the womb, the space and the surroundings of the mother and the mother's experience of the world and the emotions that the mother is dealing with. That can be, I believe there's been a lot of, scientific research on this, in particular, this phenomenon of certain cellular imprints happening when we're in the womb, depending on how the mother was perceiving or feeling or just embodying or living basically. And that is where Spica comes in. She's the brightest star in an area of the sky with there's not a whole lot going on, so it can be very much like a guide to us. It's a fortunate fixed star, and it supports those who are delving into emotional trauma at this time. So ask for guidance and reassurance if you are tapping into any themes related to your mother, or even generational trauma, things that have come up and been passed down. For some, there has even been disease passed from mother to child. Common diseases that are passed on, like asthma and diabetes, they can range from being moderate to mild to severe. Check in if this applies to you. You'll know by now. I believe that this would have been something that you could have been born with. And this could be something that you harbor in terms of subconscious resentment even. But it's time to, I guess, open up to forgiveness and acceptance around those difficult themes in your life. And I think that's what those cards might be speaking to. For those of you who are still involved with something that's requiring a lot of strength, the first card that comes through is the Nine of Wands. Keep going. You're almost there, and victory is absolutely within reach now, and that's the Ten of Pentacles. So the Nine of Wands is tremendous strength and stamina. It is also victory that comes after perseverance, so just bear that in mind, that you're really close. You've had a lot of recent success and achievement, and don't get me wrong, this doesn't have to sound like it all came easy to you. Some of you maybe have been trying really hard to overcome a personal issue. Some of you have been studying really hard to pass those exams. Some of you have been trying for a long time to expand your family, or opening up and surrender, like this person here, to what comes next after perhaps feeling like, you know, you've achieved so much and you're starting to think like, well, what's next now for you? It seems like you're still working on something else that's really close to being at the finish line, and the Ten of Pentacles is the success that's in sight for you. So even though it's going to require you to keep that effort up, and I know you may want to lie down and you know, you need your rest because you're taking on a lot, and I think it's going to be worth it for you though. The Ten of Pentacles in this version is showing a lot of people here toasting you. Maybe this is your birthday feast, Gemini. Maybe not, but a lot of people are happy for you and support you and want to share in your success. The Ten of Pentacles is one of the bigger cards surrounding money, financial prosperity, and even businesses and entrepreneurial themes going well in your life. Spica is a fixed and fortunate star, which also favors resources and, I guess, business acumen and going for something in a more entrepreneurial way, or starting a business. And I don't really necessarily see this as starting a business. I feel like you're already in the throes of that. You've already done the groundwork, the study, the research, or you've already climbed the ladder essentially, and you're already almost at the top. So this month could be where you get your reward, basically your harvest, which is the constellation of Virgo. That's associated with the harvest. So recent successes having passed you, ongoing cycles of success still playing out and, you know, very close to happening. Then you get the what's next. Your highest self is coming in with an Ace of Wands saying, don't worry, something very new and fresh, brand new, exciting, invigorating, attractive to you is just around the corner. Before we get there, let's look at the Knight of Swords and the Eight of Swords. This is where something seems to be worrying you, Gemini. You are the Knight of Swords, you're mutable air, that's very alive and ready and eager. And this month with the horse is kind of speaking to adventure, I think. Adventure for you, and kind of focused on what's next. Like after you make these bigger achievements, they've already been done. You're kind of like, I know the end is in sight with something else. So then you're kind of thinking, what's next? this is kind of wrecking your head a little bit because you feel like you can't fully move on from something. The Eight of Swords tells me that you still feel bound to something that you've been working on. And the Eight of Swords is also telling me that some of you even feel stuck in kind of like a more stale relationship or a stale project or just a work environment. And I think that's what's bothering you this month. The jewel associated with the fixed star of Spica is actually the emerald, and I see the emerald in the forest card. Well, something that's like an emerald, right? And like we read in the forest card, this is a very exciting and enthralling dynamic that you could be facing this month. So don't get disheartened when things seem a little bit samey at the beginning of the month. You know that you've had to put your work and focus towards something for a long time. It wasn't going to happen overnight, but now it has happened, and at least, like I said, the end is in sight for you. So be confident that something new and exciting is awaiting you. That will remove any of this like feeling of obligation or stagnant energy that you may have been experiencing recently too. Going back to the mother archetype, a lot of this stagnant energy may be coming up around motherhood for you or your relationship to the mother in your life, just bearing that in mind. To speak on a past life for a little while, it seems like you may have been involved in some sort of an Amazonian forest landscape in the South America region. Some of you, though, may be going to visit the forests of South America, and a few of you may have actually been starting to consider some shamanic healing. So the shamans are healers that were very prevalent and still are in South America. They do something which is called soul retrieval. So when something traumatic happens to us, whether it's when we're in the womb, whether it's during our early and formative years when we're children, or even, when we're faced with very serious issues like, discovering that we may have a disease or learning that somebody else does, or just being aware of the suffering of the world. But I think that this is a little bit more personal. When something traumatizes us, part of our soul is fragmented from the wholeness, from the oneness, and that is kind of kept suspended in time. It's sort of stuck where that trauma happened. So perhaps it was something traumatic when you were a younger person. That part of your soul is still reliving that experience. So what the shamans of South America will do during their ceremonies will be retrieving that part of the soul so that it can be healed and integrated back into the oneness of yourself. So something about shamanic healing could be a calling for you. If that sounds like, it resonates, go for it. It might be something that's really going to help you on your healing journey so that you can just live the best life that you possibly can. But the shamanic approach is always going right to the deepest and darkest parts of the fragmented soul. It can be very painful to address those parts of us, but there's no sedation there. You're really getting right to the root of what's going on so that it can be integrated into wholeness again. And the outcome of your reading, one of my favorite cards, the Temperance card, you do have support, divine support. You may feel like a hand is reaching out from the heavens to guide you and help you and pull you up. But this could seem like a friend. This could be a trusted confidant. This could be a lover or somebody that truly does love you unconditionally and only wants what's best for you. Allow yourself to be helped and leveled up and ascend this month to Gemini. Okay, the next thing that I think is coming up is us getting into these major arcana cards as June progresses. So you'll have made a successful completion of something at the beginning of June, I think. Then Mercury moves into the sign of Gemini around the 11th of June, which is actually my dad's birthday. So at that point, something fresh begins to happen. Gemini is the home sign where Mercury belongs, and he's really happy there. He's really happy to just get activated and thinking about things and communicating and having a little bit of fun and things becoming a bit more playful, because I do think that recently things have been hard work and effort for you, and it could have even been your health, and now you're seeing an improvement there and you feel very determined to keep going on something. And then you've also got this focus on a particular area of your life that is actually really near to having all the success that you'll have ever wanted there, and money and recognition and all of those things that come with it. That's all there. And then you might be saying, like, I just want to have some fun, I just want to like be a little bit more playful and things like that. Well, that's when that all kicks off, I think, around June 11th. Why not go to the forest? Why not do something that's a little bit out of your comfort zone? I think that for those who are single, you maybe meet someone after around the 11th of June that really sparks, like this Ace of Wands, your sense of being alive, or even like a sense of passion that maybe has been lying dormant for you. For those that are in a relationship, there could be just this breath of fresh air. It could be something that, you know, you had some time away, you had some time to play, you had some time to just reconnect, and things are fun and romantic and light. The major arcana cards, okay, well, we did mention drama in the intro, right, with that Mars being in Leo and Venus being in Leo. And yeah, I mean, the Mars is associated with the Tower, isn't it? And it's almost like the drama is happening around you rather than to you or for you. It's almost like, because this card, the Tower, is about drama, it came through in your environment position though. So you may notice that this month everyone is acting kind of chaotic, things are changing around you, and that's where that could be happening for you though. Like, change is happening around you to benefit you, but you may notice that everyone's coming to you with drama or troubles or crisis. They're coming to you in a crisis. You may notice that people are in fact in crisis moments, in Tower moments, but there's a more like aware and elevated part of your psyche, I think, that can actually see this for what it really is. And you can see that those things may seem like a crisis to those people at this time, but it could be for good reason. They may have been building certain parts of their life or aspects of their journey on an illusion or on something that isn't even in highest and best for them anyway. So anything that does seem to be falling apart around you, not necessarily in your life directly, the environment card is more like what you're observing around you, but you could be absorbing it too. Just take a step back and see if you actually feel like this could be all for the best and you're happy to just let the chips fall where they may. What's going to be rebuilt after that, the Strength card and Temperance, is going to be much more pure. This is the Leo card, Strength card. So yes, we do have all that activity happening in Leo. So let's talk about that. Venus is in Leo. Well, I think Venus moves into Leo around the 5th or 6th of June. So beginning the month, we'll have Venus in Leo. So this is when we get to be a bit more courageous in love. And Venus in Leo is going to be making a nice opportune sextile to Gemini. So that means Gemini placements are going to be more brave when it comes to love, more assertive and more confident in their body, in their sexuality, in their creative self-expression, and just more open-hearted. Leo rules the heart, and it's encouraging you, Gemini, to express what's in your heart, talk to the people you love, confess your love, and it's going to be warmly received. The Temperance card is telling me that there's something about like divine intervention that could happen this month too. So keep an open mind, and I mean, this would be really beautiful for you if you just knew that this was the divine intervention that I'm speaking about now. When something happens and you're like, I thought all hope was lost even. I say that because the Tower card can have the propensity to make us think that this is a disaster. And even if that's happening in the lives of others that are around you at this time, you're going to still maybe absorb some of that, right? It's only natural. The Devil card, we haven't talked about this guy. The Devil card is telling me that even if you fear things this month or feel like hope is lost, that's really just here for you. Again, your higher part of your psyche is going to look at this and think, okay, I know this is a test. I'm strong. I will overcome it this month. And the higher part of your psyche is actually already aware that this is testing you and fear is coming up from within you, just so the divine intervention or the kind of aha moment or the connected moment that feels like, you know, it really just contrasts it so you can see it more clearly. You'll know that hope is not lost, it never was, and that there's something that's been in control that's a little bit more of a benevolent kind of higher power than you anyway. So what's the use in fussing? The Devil card and the Eight of Swords, though, I mean, of course, you know, when fears come up, it can be something that can even cloud our judgment, or it's not going to be the best place for us to make important decisions from. So I do sympathize with you there, and I can totally understand that. The Eight of Swords is really just the devil's little sister. The Eight of Swords is when we are in a mindset of like, I can't, I'm stuck, there's nothing to be done, I'm powerless. And then the Devil card, it just has its way then, because you're already in a more vulnerable mindset. That's when the Devil card can really come in and say, yeah, you're never gonna be free from me. You're always gonna mess up like this. You're always gonna repeat this cycle in love, in your job, with your personal goals. So don't even bother. But you've got stronger cards coming through towards the end of the month, and the Strength card and Temperance card is telling me that there's going to be help and support for you, and let things fall apart. If they were healthy and for you and beneficial for you, they'll still be there for you as the chips fall, like I said, and things begin to be rebuilt. Those structures will still be there for you. But if they weren't good for you, let them fall away, I think. You've got so much to focus on. You've got a really big goal this month ahead, 9 of Wands and 10 of Pentacles. Enjoy the magic, right? That's what Temperance is. That's the divine intervention of the month. You feel like there is something magical helping you, aiding you, and it could come at a time where you feel a little bit lost. That was the message of the forest, though. You didn't spend enough time in the forest unless you get lost and you kind of don't know what's happening. But then when you find yourself again and you find your way, that's those like really precious moments of knowing that you'll always find your way and to never lose hope and to never give up. But playful and interesting characters seem to come into your life this month, Gemini. The past life signature I'm really seeing is something that could have traumatized you, or you as a mother in a past life, or with your mother in a past life, and there may be some call towards calling back that traumatized part of yourself. And there could be a call to visit South America, explore some of those cultures. I mean, the forest, South America, the Amazon certainly comes through. What an experience that would be to visit a place like that. You could have a mother or father from South America. That could also be coming through as well. If you're dealing with any of the pain or struggle of a parent who is, you know, fighting a disease or living with a disease, that is a call, I suppose, to recognize that this is going to be something that does take its toll, and that you should award yourself, you know, kindness and commend yourself for the strength that you have from being there and being present during this, and just know that that's a real honor and spiritual service that you're undertaking. That won't be a message for everybody, but if it is, sending you love, of course. I'm going to leave you with that now, Gemini. Have a fantastic Gemini season. And if that sounded like you're interested in hearing a bit more about the love element and the romance element, I do have a specific love and relationship reading linked below in the description box of this reading. It's exclusive to my Patreon, so head over there if you wish. If not, I'll leave you with that, and a happy birthday to you.